We're going to make that little placement. I think the best thing for us to do is to not really use the geometry on this servo because, frankly, it's going to confuse us. So what I would do is I would make this sketch, and yeah, we'll capture position, whatever, I don't care. We're going to make the sketch just on that plate because really that servo is going to drop in there. And we do want to capture where that circle is, right where the servo is. This little circle is kind of going to be important. And the big thing here is that we want to be able to put a screw hole through there. So 5mm again should serve us pretty well because it's definitely bigger than what that hole looks like, and that's what we're going to screw into. Now the next part of this is a little bit trickier. So we're going to make sort of a gear, type of gear, a gear looking gear. We need two circles. One circle needs to overlap with another one. What we're really going to do, and I'm just going to mock it up here, is we're going to make one other 5mm hole that's going to be aligned with this 5mm hole. And what I like to do is use the little line tool here to connect these. And then up here, use the constraint to make this definitely constrained, and it already says it is. And then what we're really trying to do, and we're not going to use this, but we want to overlap these. So think of it like these two things. If they were gears, the teeth have to mash up in here. And the way that the teeth are defined are going to be through two concentric circles. So let's say we have one there, and we have one here. So if I had teeth on this side, they would mash up with the teeth over here. That's why I have this overlap, and that would be great. But, you know, not perfect, not the best, but useful. So we don't need these circles anymore. I think I proved the point with that part. But we do need this center circle. And I'm going to give these a measurement because I hate having things just free floating. Let's say this is 40mm. And this internal circle, let's say this one is like 25, you know, something. Now, I'm going to make this super easy. We don't have to make the world's best gears. What we need to do is make gears that can interlock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the geometry we currently have here. And do you notice when I hover over this point where they overlap, it gives me that X? That's a really useful tool because that means it's already figuring out a lot of stuff for me. Now, I'm going to type in 10mm and it's going to go past here, but I can make it go past there and say, okay, escape. Now I have a 10mm line that's throwing me off. That's not helpful, right? So let's go back. Let's make a line on this edge to this other edge, and let's not really care about whatever else that is. And then let's use this mirror tool because we don't want to draw it again. We want to say that's the mirror line, and sure enough, there. That's cool. That's mirrored. Good enough. What we're going to do is we're going to make a shape over here, and then we're going to mirror it over here. It's going to be the easiest thing. So the way we're doing that is we're going to come up to this, and we're going to say make a circular pattern of these lines. So we select them. It asks for a center point. Well, that's why we like this tool. It gives us all the center points we need. And then we're going to do this until they pretty much touch, okay? They don't even have to touch, but close. We're going to click OK. So you get this kind of sun-looking shape. That's useful. Now, I'm going to make your life a little easier. Any of these lines that we've used, any of these are called construction lines. They're not actually going to be used by us for the whole thing, and I don't want to go around selecting everything. So each line that we've used for construction, we're just going to click the construction mark. It's going to make them dashed. But what it really is doing is allowing us to select individual parts. And sorry for the little Technicolor blitz there. But we have this piece. We have this little circle. That's about all I need for this section. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click Make. And it's going to tell me, no, dude, you don't have these connected. So I'm going to go back to my sketch. I'm going to go to Edit Sketch, and it looks like, sure enough, this one can't be construction. So when I attach those, see how now it lets me select individual parts, but it gets a little sticky here. That's just what we're going to have to deal with. So it's partly because I didn't get too precise on the measurements here, but small price to pay to have to, you know, not go through and measure every single little thing. So we'll click these, and we'll say, sure, these are great, because they're going to overlap with that. That's why they're really great. And then over here, we just want to make sure we click that so it's not just, you know, cut out. And we're going to say that this is, let's say, 5mm. And we don't want to join it. We want it to be a new body. And we'll click OK. So you are left with a little gear that should attach pretty well to our servo. And we have our original sketch, which we actually want to keep up because This is where we're going to place the other little gear, and I'll show you how to do that right now. But we need a plane because I'm not trying to mirror this, and that would be really annoying, right? And if you recall, I was telling us, hey, we need to subdivide this thing. It was in this sketch that I just hid. This one, while we had this point, is going to make a lot of sense in about 2 seconds. So we want to offset a plane. I'm going to bring you back to the origin here. We're going to use this plane because it's going to subdivide there. And you'll see what I mean by subdivide. So we are going to use this little bottom piece. And remember, we're not going to always have to use distance. We're going to use to object. And because I had that little point, now my plane goes there. That's the middle of that little lot. We'll call it like rectangle section here. So when I go to mirror, I have a perfect plane where I have my object right here. It's going to ask me for a mirror plane that I just made, but if I can't find it, that would really be, annoying. So we'll come over here and we'll look at construction. It should be the very last plane we made. So we'll click it, and sure enough, it makes it for us. Now, if you look, these are overlapping, but they're overlapping and they're way too close. So let's say it's a new body, and let's say, okay, that's cool. And now we go into the move tool, and we just grab this thing. It's a body, so it's easy to move. And we're going to rotate this, and we're going to move it so that it overlaps right there. See, that's why we had that piece. So make sure that's overlapping. Yep, looking good. We just have to slightly move this so that it's not totally on there, and move it into shape. Don't worry if you see that little point go in there, because we're going to fillet these edges like we did last time. So we can click OK. And this is the part that's really cool. If you mirror this before you go into the mirror, or I can show you with the update to the mirror, but if you mirror this, all of those things should actually happen to the other part. So I'm going to just curve these because it's a little bit too jagged for me. I'm going to say this piece, and this piece, and this piece, and you get the idea. I don't have to keep saying it. We're going to use some of them, not all of them, because again, we're going to have to make those attachment arms. That'll be the next step of this tutorial. So for this part, we're just going to fillet these. And we'll do that, and that's going to round them out. If you look, rounds them out pretty nice. We'll click OK, and now it's not going to update to our mirror piece. So if we go in, we can edit this feature. We can say, yep, hey, edit this guy, sure, okay. And it's not going to affect it. But if I take that fillet and I go back in time, all of a sudden it does. So super cool tool, super awesome way of learning how to use version history and sort of that timeline at the bottom. So stay tuned and we'll make the attachments.